Hey, Dr. Thornton here, and today I'm going to discuss the use of ice packs appropriately following an activity. One of the most underutilized therapies that we see inside the office or following an activity is the use of ice. What ice is going to do following a suspected injury or overutilization is going to slow down the blood flow. It's going to constrict the blood vessels, which is going to slow down the inflammatory mediators so the body doesn't overinflame. As a secondary goal, it's going to bring pain levels down and numb the area. What's important to understand is that pain in and of itself is not a reliable indicator on the severity of the condition. So following activity, if you don't perceive immediate pain, this sometimes will lead people not to use ice or to compress or do any of the other basic first aid type protocols simply because they don't experience a sufficient amount of pain yet. And then we've all experienced times where we've gone to bed, woke up the next day, and we've had quite a bit more soreness or if not excruciating pain. So it's very important that whenever you've exceeded your normal conditioning levels, your normal activities, or you're actually participating in an activity where you know that you may have strained yourself or overutilized something, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure you ice. And the appropriate icing instructions is 15 to 20 minutes on and wait 45 minutes to an hour off. Make sure you use adequate layers of cloth around the ice pack or ice if it's in a Ziploc bag is important because ice in and of itself will actually burn the skin if you put it in direct contact with your skin and leave it on there for a prolonged period of time, especially if you're older or you have some type of compromise in the circulatory system. An example I like to use is, and to really sell this, is if a multi-million-dollar baseball player in the prime of his life, 20 years old, prime of his life, will throw 60, 70 pitches and get pulled from the pitcher's mound when they put in a new pitcher. When he goes and sits down, the trainer comes over and immediately ices his arm, and they wrap this and compress it and ice his arm for 2 or 3 hours. They don't ask him if he's any pain. He's not usually complaining of any pain. They do this as a normal precautionary measure because he just had 60 to 70 repetitive motions with the arm, and this is the normal protocol, not waiting to see if extensive damage has been done the next day. They go ahead and ice it to slow down all the microtrauma and little minor tears, the inflammatory reaction from that or that could come from that before he's ever even potentially even complaining of any symptoms. So I encourage you that following an activity, following yard work, following repetitive bending and lifting, following dealing with toddlers and small children, doing any activity that you're not typically doing to where you're conditioned for it, following an activity where you know that you may have twisted an ankle, wrenched your back, hurt a shoulder, even if you don't have a great deal amount of pain, go ahead and ice it for 2 or 3 cycles and determine the next day if the injury is such that maybe you need to go ahead and have an evaluation. But please, you can head off a lot of pain and suffering, a lot of inflammation if you use the ice pack. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.